Hey y'all, what's up? This is Joby from The Familiars, and I am going to walk you through my top 5 modules for Foundry VTT. I've been running games on Foundry VTT for 2 years now, and in that time, I have started using a ton of different modules. What's a module? So glad you asked. A module is just an add-on to the existing program. Think of it like DLC for a video game. I'm going to show you where to find these things, and I'm going to show you how to download them and make sure that they're running in your game. Take time to play around with all of the settings within each module, and I think you'll start to find for yourself that there is just so much cool stuff that you can do. All that being said, it can be super overwhelming sometimes to see just the whole list of modules that are available, and I found that it was tough in the beginning to know exactly where to start. This video is just to give you the first 5 that I think that you should download and start using to make things look and feel really, really cool right off the bat. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what my top 5 are and what each of them do. And while I'm doing that, I'll also show you where to get these modules, how to download them, get them into your game, and make sure that they're up and running. Let's get started. Okay, the first one that you're going to want to do is called Dice So Nice. I mean, it's a catchy name, right? This is a module that helps dice fly across everybody's screens in a super fun, awesome way that makes you feel like you're just sitting around the table. It's super simple to use, it's super easy to set up, and it seems to work well with a ton of other modules. I'm going to show you how to download this right now and get it up and running in your game so that you can just rinse and repeat with the other modules. So you can see here I'm in my starting screen. I'm going to go back to setup. Put in my little password. Boop. Here is the configuration and setup screen. You can see that I have 2 worlds. One, Storm King's Thunder. Check out the stream. We're playing it with the familiars. It's super sweet. And the other one is Basic, which I'm using for tutorials. I'm going to go up to add-on modules. And you can see that this is my vast array of modules, thus making me the king of all module advice. Whatever. Your page might be blank. What you're going to do is click on Install Module. I'm going to go up here. Type in Dice So Nice. It's grayed out for me because I've got it installed. If you don't have it installed, all you're going to do is click install, and then it's going to install for you. Back out of here. You're going to go back into Game Worlds, and you're going to launch your world. Game Master. I ain't got no password for this one. Join game. Here we are. Now, you're going to go over into your settings. Bloop. And you're going to go over to manage modules. You'll see my huge list of modules. Yours will look blank except for Dice So Nice. When you load in a module, its default in Foundry is to be inactive. That's just to make sure that you can open Foundry okay and there's not going to be any kind of hiccups right at the point of opening. At least I think so. I'm not a big techie. So what you're going to want to do is just click on it. Boop. Save module settings. Going to reset. Oh, and you get this nice little menu popping up. Yes, I can configure or disable my 3D dice by clicking this button. And here we are in the settings. So have at it. Pick what dice you want. I'm going to go with Spectrum, Necrotic. Ooh. You can change things like texture, material. You can change the font. I mean, who needs to go to a dice store? So as a DM, I kind of like to have blood red dice. It adds a little bit of spiciness to the entire game. There's a ton of different settings that you can play around with. Performance is going to be important for people with varying levels of computer performance. If you're finding that Dice So Nice is slowing down your game, you just need to check in the performance settings and play around until it feels really good for you and for everybody. So, roll 1d20. There it is. So that's Dice So Nice. Play around with it. Super fun. It's going to enhance the game for both you and your players. Number 2 is Dice Tray. Very simply, Dice Tray gives you a dice tray. It gives you some clickable icons, and when you click on them, it rolls dice for you. So once you got it installed, look at that. Little dice. Bap, 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 bap. Roll. Voila. Super simple. There it is. All right. Up next, we've got Midi QOL. Okay, so we've got our friend Randall and our friend Bandit in a fight. We've already loaded them into the encounter, and we've rolled initiative for them. Randall, you're going first. I didn't get into Dungeons and Dragons to do math. I hate math. Or, I don't hate math. I need math. We all need math. But I don't like math. And a module like Midi QOL is a fantastic way to not doing the math that you don't want to do. And it's a way of making sure that you don't make mistakes so that you can just keep playing the game at a nice, fast clip. It'll be more exciting for you and more exciting for your players. All right, FYI, some modules require other more under the hoodie type modules to be installed with them. So even though this is a top 5 list, it's it's more like top 7 because you're going to want to install a module called socketlib and libwrapper. Don't worry about it. It's not that scary. Do I want to enable the module and its dependencies? Yes, I do. And we're back at it. So now you can see in our settings, we're going to go over to module settings and we're going to go down to Midi QOL. This is a super powerful module. Depending on how much time you have, you can really make this thing do almost anything that you want it to do. It's going to automate a ton of your life and make a lot of your work as a DM just disappear. It's fantastic. To look under the hood, you're going to go into your settings and you're going to scroll down to Midi QOL and you're going to go into workflow settings. This is your main setting panel. You can control things as the GM, as the player, and if that's giving you a headache, I highly recommend that you just head over to quick settings and then look at the descriptions below. Each of these basically just describes a default setting. I don't know about you, but I'm going to go with full automation, click as few buttons as possible. Apply changes, save changes. So Randall's going to go up to this bandit, use his longsword. I just want you to notice what just happened with Midi QOL. I rolled once. A cool little message came up here describing my attack, said what my roll was, broke it down into not only the roll, but its modifiers, registered that it hit the bandit, auto-rolled damage, and applied that damage, and also applied the fact that it's bleeding. I really hope that all game masters everywhere watching this just breathed a huge sigh of relief. If there's any of those functionalities that you don't prefer and you want to do on your own, I mean, go for it. You can honestly change everything within this module. But if you're like me and you just want stuff to work, thank you, Midi QOL. Up next, D&D Beyond Importer. So what D&D Importer is basically a way to very simply, at least in the free version, get your D&D Beyond characters into Foundry super simply. Randall, it's been real, but I want to get my character in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on Randall, open up his character sheet. Ooh, look at this nice new little button. I'm going to click on this. Oh, and then I need the URL of my character. Hey, Girian. I'm going to use Girian. I'm going to copy and paste. And then start import. There's Girian. Now Girian has all of Girian's stuff. One thing I forgot to do was make sure you click image. Boop, 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 boop. Default. Oh. But now I sure wish that this cool picture was existing over here. And so that leads us to our next module, which is Tokenizer. Tokenizer is the absolute quickest way to get awesome tokens into Foundry. You guys know the drill. Tokenizer. Now that I've got the module installed, all I'm going to need to do is double click on the image. I want to take this, move it over here. I'm going to add a layer. Just play around with where each layer is. I don't need this anymore. I don't need that anymore. I'm going to unlock the image and I'm going to move it around. I'm going to hit OK. What's up, Girian? Foundry VTT is a great way to play tabletop role-playing games online, and with just a few modules, you can get it looking super awesome and super sweet and working for you as a dungeon master, cutting out a lot of your workflows in a really simple way by just using a couple of these modules. If you like this video, let me know what else you want me to talk about in Foundry. Again, I've been using it for 2 years now. I've run a bunch of different games on it, and so I'm happy to give you whatever knowledge is helpful for you. But no matter what, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was helpful. If it was, be sure to like, subscribe, and click on that little bell for notifications for when I'm going to post new videos talking about all things D&D, helping you, the DM, cut out the extraneous work and get to playing as fast as you can. But most importantly, my intent is all for your delight. Until next time, have fun, play some games, and I'll see you around.